Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of September 18th through the 24th of 2017. This is a big week, people. We've been talking about this week for a long, long time, and we started talking back in February, March about going from equinox to equinox, and this week we will have our equinox, okay, where we close this cycle out. Now, on the 19th, Venus will enter Virgo. Also, on the same day, Mercury will leave shadow. Thank goodness, right? On the 20th, and it's perfect timing too, like after having, being done with Mercury, being done with eclipse season, there will be a new moon in Virgo. Then on the 22nd, we have the Sun entering Libra, as well as the equinox, which will be the autumnal in the northern hemisphere or the spring in the southern. And, what a week it's going to be. I'll tell you, we talked last week about relationships and wishes and, changes that are coming in. This week sees the continuance of those themes. Now, there is this overwhelming feeling here. Not overwhelming in a bad way, overwhelming in a good way. Like you're standing up and taking charge of your life, okay? Just, that's it. I want this change. I'm going to make it happen. You have made it happen. That's just it. This transition, you're closing old doors and you're ready for new things. And I think part of it is new people. And that'll be very interesting to see what that gives us to talk about in the future with new people coming into the picture. So, there's also, I want to say like a political climate that's around. Now, I don't know if that means, the division that's been with people because of politics, or if it's, that like where you have one face for this one and one face for that one, kind of keeping, things politically correct, I suppose. Now, I'm not going to say that someone's going to call you and out lie to you or something like that. I'm just thinking, don't take everything on face value. Whatever's being said, whatever's going on, it may not be intentional deceit, but something may be a little bit masked. So you may not really be seeing what it is. It could be coming from another individual or even a group, but wherever it's coming from, just, take your time with that. Don't accept it at face value. Like I said, continuing theme, very much moving forward with your hopes and dreams and what makes you feel good as a person. It's not about going back to being the old you. It's who is the new you and who are you becoming. And I think you like who you're becoming and the things that you've managed to accomplish. Feeling much better standing on your own 2 feet, for sure. All right. So this week, wow, you've got the new moon. And, there's a huge spark of inspiration here. It's definitely the time to begin something important. Something important that's towards your goals. It will be successful. Okay? And I think it has a lot to do with how you feel about yourself, like where you're headed and what you're doing and who you're becoming, that type of thing. So you're lighting your own way, and things day by day, they improve. Now you notice I said that this week Mercury gets out of shadow. So yes, we're done with that for a while. And things are, I don't want to use the word escalating because escalating always sounds bad. But as far as the pace, escalating, with how much you're accomplishing, this is towards your goals. This is toward your hopes, your dreams, and the vision that you have for yourself. Like, I think you just start to feel stronger day by day. That give me an inch and I'll take a mile kind of feeling. There's something around the time of the new moon and the equinox that's allowing you to like really jet forward and say, that's it. I'm on my way. I don't think you're 100% out of there yet. I still feel like it's like late October, that second half of October sometime. So it could be that whatever you launch at this new moon this week, as all that plays out, what you're setting into motion, because I know I've said before that at the new moon next month, there's a change. There's a change in where you're headed, in what you're doing. The victories that you're achieving, they're personal. I mean, you could have some goals that you achieve victories with too, but this is more personal. It's that overcoming those hard times where you have felt in recent years like you were just fighting for your life, fighting to just keep things going. And that's it. I mean, it's like it's time to put the hard times to rest. And you're doing it. You're accomplishing it. It's amazing to me, and I talk to so many of you, like with the whole intricate story, and seeing it happen and seeing it play out, it just boggles my mind, even though I'm well aware of it. So you're moving on from all this, a lot of disappointments that have happened in the past, in recent years. And, it's towards your hopes and dreams and what will make you happy. I also see you making maybe a fair-sized decision this week, one that really affects the future of your life, like the outcome in the long term. Okay? If I were to have asked you 5 years ago, when the nonsense began back in 2012, you likely would not have made this decision. Okay? You would have been totally naive and unaware of what was coming down the road. And you'd been like, Cecilia, you're crazy. But now, after seeing everything that you've sacrificed and everything that you've had to turn your back on, and the betrayals that have come your way, and all of it, you're just like, you want to be reborn into a whole new life. But it's not something that, I'm telling you, for the longest time, you thought it wasn't even possible. You just hung on, and you kept on going, you kept on trudging along, and, trying to work it out. And I think I mentioned something last week. It's kind of here again. And I want to say it's kind of like sharing what you know. Like your stories of survival, if you want to call it that type of thing. Maybe someone needs an encouraging word from you. Not everybody's at the same place along their path. So, that sharing and caring kind of thing, and being generous enough to give someone a few minutes of your time, maybe your ear, a few kind words of advice, it goes a long way, and it helps them hang in there. And that feels important right now, because you've come through all of this. And we would be totally remiss if we thought that while we may all feel like we're in one boat here and traveling together, there are other people out there who are at different places. And they need someone to, put their hand out and say, here, let me tell you what happened to me and how I survived it, and that I'm okay. And that you will be okay as well. So there's a lot there that's going on. And when we talk about these kind of things, I also notice that it represents a tremendous change that's coming from within, because you've had all of these experiences that have brought you to this point, and now you're ready. You're ready to step on into the other side. You know that this new life awaits. You might have a couple more things to check off of your list, but I'd say that at this point, it's a pretty safe bet that you know that it's a happening deal. And, you just have so much clarity coming in that, like, after the equinox this week, you don't feel as trapped. Okay? Whatever you have managed to do, I'm telling you, you just feel so much better. It's a feeling that it's actually hard to describe, because for each one of you out there, the story is different, but it represents some sort of freedom that has come through choices that you've made. Like, you've definitely set yourself free, I think, in a pretty good way from the past. You know, will there be things that come up that are reminders? Probably, yeah, once in a while. But I think all the really hard stuff is done. It's been done. And then it was kind of like these last 6 months have been okay, the worst is over, but how do I recover from it? How do I get to feel like I can just breathe and have a life again? And that's where you're at now. You're in that new part where you're on your way. And I keep saying, I kind of think the feeling like you can breathe is coming by November. So you have some kind of newfound freedom coming after the equinox this week. And I really think also an increased awareness of the powers in the universe. The kind that, that just gives you hope and faith to know that anything can be overcome. Because that's just it. You've overcome the hard times, and you did it. You did it. No one else did it. There might have been some help along the way, but you're the one that did it, and you're creating it. You're creating the new life through the details that you're working out now. So, yeah, you're just on your way to that. I want to relax. So this is September. You've got October, November. Things are really changing. And I also mentioned last week, and I want to mention it again, because this week is our equinox. And I think we're going to start talking about equinox to equinox again and what you're doing. You're not, I'll tell you what, you're not juggling as much anymore. But here again is the one face for this one face for that one. Now, what does that mean? That probably means different things for different people. It really depends upon what you're doing. I think that for many, the outcome, the success of what you've been trying to do to make it 100% succeed, to be in this new life with no mishaps, you kind of need to keep it balanced, and you kind of like maybe don't need everybody in it, because if they were, I think that would create problems. So that's how you're keeping your balance there. All right, just that go with the flow attitude, and know that in time it will change. I really think that one of the big major turning points again is going to come in March at the equinox that comes in. So life seems to be coming at us in 6-month periods, even though we're trying to do a weekly reading here. But it is showing it, I feel, for the reason that if we're going from this week to the equinox in March, what is the main theme here for the next 6 months is manifesting in a wonderful way. Manifesting the security that you need, the relationships that you need, and the opportunities that you need in your life. So the success is there. And don't think that people don't notice, because they do. I mean, there are people who've been around you long enough to know what you've already been through. So, you are not only succeeding over the hard times, you're creating this whole new part of life that is, I think it amazes people who really know your story. And they're going to say, wow, look at you. Look at what you have managed to do. And I think that's where the sharing part comes in, because you're going to encounter people now who maybe they need someone to talk to or whatever. Because when it comes to stress, you're just like knocking it down right and left. And really, truly, just wondering what's out there. Like the next big adventure. And it's an adventure. So you're working on making new plans. I think that for many of you, and like I said, again, this is more internal, and it can translate into your exterior world, on the outside, but truly you're being given a new chance, a new lease on life. And that doesn't come around all the time, but you're very aware of that after recent years. You know how hard that this new beginning was to come by. So how when we talked before over the last couple of years about life having imploded and clearing away the debris and, you know, getting that whole new solid foundation in there. You know, it took a lot of patience to get it done, right? To really make things, you know, turn, I want to say karmically, where, you know, you felt like things are, you know, going your way. It took a lot of hard work. But see, now you're in a position where you're like keeping that out, you know, like defending yourself, you know, personally. It could be everything you own, everything you have, your job, your family, whatever it is, your finances, anything that you're looking to protect, you are defending yourself against those hard times. But it's not in a not in a bitter way, not in a me against the world kind of way where you're like, you know, lashing out at people or something, because I think that, you know, you're happy now with where your life is headed and the things that you've accomplished. So that's good. All right. It's just that, you know, overcoming the betrayal. But you've done this quietly. That's the part I like. You've done it quietly. You've gone around. You've built things back up. You've worked things out. It's from very, very creative new beginnings. And, you know, that's what I said about, like, bitterness. There's not bitterness. You know, you're okay with it all. That's the part that's amazing. You're okay with it all. And you just, you have felt in the past like you and the universe were at cross purposes. You know, that picture that you had in your mind of your life was not the picture that you thought it should be. And the universe came along and said, let's make a new picture. Well, now, you know, that whole dawn of a new day thing, and, you know, the idea of a fresh start, a new picture, as I like to call it, because everybody has one in their mind of how they want their life to look like. Only I don't think it ever turns out exactly as they plan it. You know, so there's some real acceptance that's going on here, but not accepting something that is less than. This could very well turn into something that is more than, because the universe is poised to show you what you've been missing out on for a really long time. And I'll be honest with you, for many of it, I feel it's like love, happiness, it's all coming. Now, it's not showing us yet how long it takes to make it come in to the point where that picture is complete. But you're definitely, I feel from the equinox forward, you know, you're going. You're free to go. And in November, you're feeling very balanced. You're feeling like things are finally fair in your life. Wow. This gets better every week. I want to thank you all very much for listening, and I'll see you here again real soon. Take care.